Hello again. Welcome to another one of my videos. This is a video of a model which I just recently finished in between doing videos of other stuff. And it's of the 172 scale Dragon models Sdkfz 2517. And the 251 series are half tracks made and used by Germany, World War II. This particular model of the 251 is, as I said, it's a 2517, and the 2517 was a specialist vehicle that was configured to be used as a pioneer vehicle, i.e., it's like an engineer vehicle, but because it was intended to be used in the midst of battle, they had to use an armored vehicle and for assault and everything else. And for armament, it used a couple of things. Right in front was a 2.8 cm Panzer Push anti-tank rifle. That's a special gun which fired a special round that was using a tungsten core and wolfram. It was a wolfram round, and it was a squeeze ball principle, so it's a special kind of gun. And you fire it, and it basically tapers down, increasing the pressure such that the velocity of the round was extremely high, and its penetrative capability was therefore higher. That's a bit of the background and the technical explanation to all that. So Dragon's 172 scale kit. And I did a video earlier about the contents, and you will find the link below. So this is what I've done, and I've completed it, and I've painted it in one of the color schemes which was provided or suggested, and that's the dark yellow overall, no camouflage stripes of any kind. You might ask, of course, say, well, hang on, German vehicles were camouflage. They had olive green and they have red brown stripes and everything also loaded. Absolutely correct. This particular vehicle, however, appears in the color scheme that is recommended by Dragon, and it is for a specific German unit called the Panzerlehr. And Panzerlehr is basically a fairly elite unit that was set up to basically combat field test armored vehicles. So that probably explains why it's in dark yellow. It arrived from the factory in dark yellow, and this was before Panzerlehr had time to paint it all up and do it nicely, I suppose. I don't know. No vehicle numbers to speak of, so it is brand new. I mean, typically they had a 3-number system, right? So this one doesn't have it. And that's me just following the instruction sheet exactly. Okay. Sometime in the future, I may decide to go and paint camouflage stripes on it or something. But for now, this is what you will see recommended by Dragon in its color scheme. Now, absolutely no problem at all building this kit. It was great fun to build. 72 scale is tiny. Right, that's my finger. And nevertheless, Dragon was able to squeeze a lot of detail into this thing. So let's just walk through that, right? First of all, overall view of this model. 2 front wheels, of course, that's the steering part, and then you have the half track assembly, right? And the Dragon's way of doing the half track assembly was very clever and very convenient for models like me, right? The interleaved wheels, as you can see, is inner and outer wheels, right? Can be a real problem to assemble, and you sometimes get it offline. What Dragon did was they molded the wheels in one continuous run, joined together by ingenious pieces which are hidden behind those 3 wheels which you see right in front down there. Okay, assemble the wheels, the construct, and then put the tracks around it, and then finish with those outer wheels, and that's the result. It looks quite convincing. Speaking of the tracks are rubber band tracks, which means they're in one continuous piece of rubber, or what Dragon likes to call their DS material, Dragon styrene, I suppose. And very nice. And if you work on it carefully, you can actually stretch it if it's too short. Be careful about that. Don't pull it too far. You can also see, let me just zoom this in so that you can see it. You can see that I have been able to hide the joint of the tracks very, very neatly. You can't even tell where the joint is, right? Yeah. It's all a question of making sure that you get the right measurement of the tracks, and then finding a nice spot to start, and then wrap this thing around the wheels, and then making sure that the ends meet neatly and evenly, and then you glue the whole thing together. If you look carefully enough and long enough, you should be able to see it. Pause it here, have a look at that, and you should be able to see where the joint is. Okay, now let's zoom that out again just a bit. Okay, now I'm going to slowly turn this round, and the reason why it's slowly is because that gun is actually capable of moving up and down. Okay, so if it suddenly drops upwards, don't get a shock. Okay, so I'm going to turn this gradually this way, because I wanted to show you the detail that Dragon has managed to incorporate into this thing. So what you see is the interior of the model, and you can see that there's crew seats, right? And these are the later model crew seats, which are like wooden slats, right, with a nice little curve to fit your bottom. And then you have the driver and the radio operator's seats right in front. It's a bit of a shadow right now, but I'll move it around so that you can see it. And the doors, the rear doors, the troop doors can be positioned in open or closed position. Let me just move the light so that you can see it. Okay, that is not working. All right, let me just see whether I can do that. I'll move the camera. Yeah, the problem is that it doesn't. Okay, there you go. You can see that there's some detail in the back seats. Okay, what I wanted to show you was the instrument panel, actually. Let me just do that. Yes, it does come with an instrument panel. No, not working today. So let's see that. The seats, the gun, okay. And then if you look carefully enough, you will find, yeah, it's got a rifle rack inside there with a rifle. I know because I installed it. Let me see. Looking around that. So, well, there you have it. The gun has been tilted backwards, so you can have a good look at the gun now. And one interesting and very amazing bit of detail. Can you see the muzzle brake on the gun? It's molded open. I didn't drill that. Okay, and the front, the shield is a double piece, as you can see. The back piece is plastic, and the front piece is a bit of photo etched metal. Quite a bit of photo etch in this kit. Okay, you can see the size of my thumb, which means you can tell just how big this thing is, or rather how small this thing is. Okay, now let me just move that back into view. There. Okay, so this is the front quarter view, and let me just tilt that so you can see it. Again, you know, just another opportunity to see the tracks on this side. Same thing again, I was able to achieve a very neat join using the tracks as supplied in the kit. How to paint the tracks? These are a mid-late war, but they're not very late war or end of war. End of war was all steel, so this is mid to late war. So what you have is rubber blocks and steel, of course. So you have to leave the rubber blocks black. And the edges, I dry brushed them with a gunmetal and steel mix to get that effect. Okay, this is I wanted to depict a fairly clean vehicle which has just been received by Penzolaire, but it still has some dirt and grime and everything else, because after all this is the war, right? So I gave the whole model a wash of raw umber oil paint, very very thin, so they would run into all the crevices and everything else. So you can see that little bit of detail there. Then dry brushed the whole thing with Humbrol cream, which is a nice slightly off-white color, which allows me to highlight. So the dry brushing does that effect. Can you see on the bridging sections on top? Yeah, it helps that dragon supplied the detail. It's just a question of a bit of effort to paint it up. Okay, but look at the detail on the hinges and everything else. Can be picked up if you paint it up and use the dry brushing technique. Now, you see the number plate? I'm highlighting the number plate, and there are 3 of them. There's one in front here, and then there is 2 of them at the back. And as you can see, the numbers have to be individually applied. Okay, it took me quite a while, and I almost lost my mind, but it does. Well, I would have rather they had printed it nicely for me, but okay. I mean, it's all part of the fun, I suppose. Then you have the same thing for the back plates. Yeah, and they don't tell you what number to put, but I checked and it's a 6-digit code. So and this is an SS vehicle, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Penzolaire division was an SS unit. So I basically put on the numerals for my birthday. Okay, so rewind back, look at that, and you will pick up my birthday. Okay, so there's a little bit of individualization that I could put in. I mean, they didn't tell me what number to put, so I just put that one down. Okay, as I said, the vehicle marking does not specify or does not show actual vehicle numbers. Typically, the vehicle number would have been painted on these little wooden boards here, and it would have been like 306 or 208 or something like that. 2 being the, if I'm not mistaken, company, 0 being something else, I'm not sure, and the last number being the vehicle number. So second company, 0, can't be 0 platoon, right? And then number 8 vehicle or something like that. Okay, so that's it. Actually, this is the completed model, and I wanted to share this with you because it's a follow-up to an earlier video that I did, being a what's in the box video on the Dragon Sdkfz 2517. So the link, as I said, is below. Check it out, and then you will see what the kit looked like before I basically did this to it. Okay, I hope this was interesting. If you have any questions, or if you want to say, ask me how I dry brush, what kind of brush that I use, and everything else, by all means, please just drop a note into the comment section, and I will gladly answer any questions you may have. Oh, one more thing before I go off. Dark yellow, I used Tamiya from the spray can. Very quick job. And then as I said, a nice wash using oil paints, raw umber. And then for the black, it was just simple, straight up Humbrol enamel black. Okay. For the dry brushing, I used Testors steel mixed a little bit with Tamiya gunmetal. That's what I had to hand. So and the steel has been with me for ages, you know. So and since I only use it for dry brushing, it's okay if it's a little bit thick and goopy. That's it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope this was fun. It is for me. It was for me. So I will see you again, hopefully with another completed project video to share soon. Um, until then, take care. Stay safe. Watch those knife blades. And paint in a nice, well ventilated area. I did. I sprayed this thing with Tamiya dark yellow, and it was in a safe space, open. And watch out for the naked flames. Um, that's me. Thank you very much, and I will see you again.